Let's start with the idea of discovery. Discovery from, as we've seen, the soaring amount of information and content available. Anybody happen to know the origin of the word serendipity? No? Well, there was a book there for the taking, if anybody did know, and have had some people put up their hands with the correct answer. It comes, Serendip is the name of what was formerly called Ceylon and now Sri Lanka. And there was an old tale of the three princes of Serendip. And the three princes went out to make their fortunes. And they came and they became into the working for one of the kings in the region. And they became his trusted advisors in all that he did. So the king had a slave girl, and he went into a relationship with her, and he fell in love. And one day they had an argument, and he banished her and sent the woman that he loved away. Then later on he said, "What have I done? I've lost the woman I love so much. What can I do? I don't know where she is." So he went to the three princes and said, "What can I do? How can I get the one that I love back?" And three princes thought, and they went back to the king and said, "You should organize a storytelling competition. And this will be run across the cities in your kingdom." And he said, "I don't understand, but I will do as you bid." And so they went to the first city and they told these storytelling competitions. These different people came out and told these wonderful stories. And in the final city, somebody came out and told this story of this woman that had been sent away by the ruler that she loved and was banished and could no longer go back. And the king looked up and says, "I know that story. That's me. I banished my king. How did you hear the story?" He said, "Well, I happened to, that's woman I know and met here in my village, and she told me the story of what happened, so I retold that story." And so the king was reunited with the one she loved. Now what the princes had done was create the conditions in which serendipity could happen, in which these accidents have been able to come across. In this case, being able to, the king to be reunited with his lover. So serendipity in this world, complex world, is a really critical thing that we need to develop. And it is something where we can create the conditions. We can't design the accidents, but we can foster the conditions in which these happy accidents of the right people having the conversation. "Oh, I happen to have done that before." Or, in fact, "Yes, I used to work with that particular person in the previous job. We know each other well. I'll introduce you and I can tell you the best way to approach this." Or whatever those happy accidents happen inside organizations that enable discovery, that enable learning, that enable the right connections of neurons, of people, of previous experience that create value. And that's particularly relevant. I mean, because, as we pointed out before, there is more signals. There's more, and in a world of more noise. So we have an extraordinary amount of spurious information that is taking us in wrong directions or is irrelevant or taking our time, but there is more and more quality within that. And to my mind, I think Twitter illustrates that. A world of garbage within which there are an increasing number of gems. So this shows our Web 2.0 framework, which came out a little while ago, showing where basically the inputs of the web go through to the mechanisms of a connected world to create emergent outcomes. And essentially, this idea that mass participation can be brought together to create something that is valuable. For me, that is the foundation of what the emerging web means and is about. So this is what you again design inside an organization. This happens in the open web. The world, the connected web is bringing together this mass participation to create value. People being able to find things more relevantly. People being able to connect more usefully to others. And inside organizations, there's actually far more opportunities to do that. To design this collaborative filtering, this mass participation flowing into valuable outcomes, because you understand the context of individuals, what they have learnt, the formal training they've had, the experience they've had, the project they're working on, the people they've worked with before, and out of that being able to create the happy accidents of finding the right information, building the right connections that create value. So one of the interesting contexts here is that of asking questions and getting answers. So how many people have been on Quora? Just a few people here. And Quora is a questions and answer site which has, and as shown by this chart, since being founded just over a year ago, is now within the top 1,000 websites in the world. And this, they have seemed to have cracked, maybe not the entire problem, but they have found a way in which the site is basically where you ask questions and other people answer them. So other people have tried this before, and it's a kind of a basic idea in terms of how do you get some knowledge and expertise, ask a question, and get the right people to answer that. And one of the reasons this is particularly pertinent for organizations is that it doesn't only answer a question that you have right now, it inherently captures the answers in a way that you can then use them thereafter. And I suppose the part of the essence of what Quora has done is having the right community where the right people, the true experts, go in to answer the questions and have this desire to be part of this community to answer those questions. And that feeds on itself as other people want to be part of that and build on that. So this bespeaks this idea of the reputation economy, which I believe is going to define this current phase of 10 years that we are in, where more and more we get specific measures of how reputable, how credible a person or content is in a particular context. So just as we have PageRank in Google, which indicates how credible or reputable that particular website is, now there's the talk within the context of Quora and beyond this idea of PeopleRank. So arguably you or the people in your organization will have some kind of ranking as that how credible is what they say in a particular context. Similarly, we can have reputation around content. So again, in the world at large, to be able to look at this explosion of information, and I believe, and I'm currently working on in some of my ventures, to be able to create some rankings so that any piece of content you can immediately see this is how credible or much credence you should pay in this content or in this person. And that's a critical measure moving forward.